Thanks, Easter Bunny. Hey, thanks, Easter Bunny.
Thank you so much for meeting with me, Mr. Bunny.
Oh, please call me Easter.
Well, the reason why I wanted to call you into my office today is I personally want to let you know that we've decided to move into a different direction this year. Bunnies are just so 1950s, and according to our market research, birds and their tweets are all the rage these days, and you won't be the one to hand out the Easter baskets to our employees this year. I'm so sorry.
You the Easter bird?
Yes, sir.
Good luck, pal.
Time to get my basket on. Cluck, cluck, baby. Cluck, cluck.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Collins for box score.
Welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock here in sunny Los Angeles, and the Danettes are joining us from Milford, Connecticut. Cluck, cluck to all. Paulie, we understand that you've been efforting Bill Laimbeer for a while in anticipation of the Bad Boys documentary, which premiered Thursday. With the buzz on social media last night during the film, did that set the wheels in motion to push even harder for him this morning?
Yes and no, Brock. This was an odd booking. Every booking is kind of different. About 2 days ago, we talked about having Bill Laimbeer on, and Dan was cool on the idea. He wasn't really into it. He's kind of half into it. So Fritzy didn't book him, but he didn't not book him. He kind of like opened the communication, highway there. But then this morning when we came in, everyone really reacted well to the documentary. It's one of those things you'd prefer to book Bill Laimbeer days in advance and be ahead of the game. But what if we all watched this documentary yesterday and said, it's okay, because then you got to unbook him, which also is very odd.
I was actually a lot happier that we had him today. I mean, I think typically he would have been booked yesterday to promote the documentary coming up, and I'm much happier that we have him the day after so we can all react to it with him.
Yes.
He's a great guest, a great guest. Well, it is Friday, so that means Cougar of the Week. Seaton, do you take enjoyment in watching the boss try to steal Fritzy's thunder by guessing who the Cougar is?
Oh, yeah, of course I do. Absolutely, I take enjoyment because Fritzy is so just bewildered. He's like, how in the world could you possibly know who it is? And unfortunately for Todd, he just prints out way too much prep and leaves it all on the printer, right. And that gets delivered to Dan.
The boss did guess, and he did it in the very first segment of the show.
Fritzy has his Cougar of the Week coming up at the top of the hour. I have a guess, Fritzy.
You do?
Yep.
Okay. Want a clue, or you think you already know it?
No, I know it. I will say, I think the Cougar of the Week is spicy.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this another one of those I left it on the printer things that you found out about?
Nope.
Yeah, I'm not loving when Dan does. I like that he's into it enough where he plays along, but usually, I'll give him a very weak clue and he won't know who it is, and then I can go about my business in the box and slowly reveal it with the clues. But when he went spicy on me, that...
Who is the Cougar, by the way? Is it Rita Moreno?
The Cougar was Victoria Beckham, Posh Spice, and I thought he went too far with the I know she's spicy clue, but I thought that might have given it away. So once he said that, I was like, great. How'd you figure that out, and why are you throwing that out there and stealing my thunder? I look forward to Friday. I'm in my Friday Fritzy mood, and I didn't want him giving away a clue.
Do you think we should maybe give Cougar back to Seaton? Dan was never able to guess his Cougar of the Week.
That is true.
For that glorious 3-week run.
Yeah, I dominated Cougar of the Week there. I got Dan's mom. Who else? There was 2 other that he was just dying to have thrown in Cougar, and you refused to
Nancy
do it.
Odell, maybe?
I don't know. That's awesome.
Like friends of the show?
I don't know. He gives
Bonnie
us clues.
Bernstein.
Madeline Albright.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had all his family members.
I thought Rhea Perlman was an odd choice, Seaton, but hey,
Listen, she had a great run in the Cheers days. You couldn't stop her.
A lot of spunk.
She got stuck by a wall somewhere along the line. Friday also means that DP is usually in a good mood, but from the looks of this, he was not happy at all with a couple of the Danettes.
Do we have wings coming, Paulie? I don't care about stats.
Right now, no.
That's all I asked. Do we have wings coming? And then if you say no,
I should have said no.
Why do you and Fritzy? Can I get a straight answer?
Yeah, but he can make that happen like very quickly. Though.
But
So he's
he goes,
leaving the
no,
window.
not yet, but we can.
He doesn't want to say no to you. None of us like to say no to you.
But just tell me what the truth is. Then I don't want to waste time with a follow-up question.
He's got the
Watch this. Seaton, you done your job today?
I could.
See?
Do it.
Now I have to follow up with it.
I could do my job.
Yeah, against the grain ready?
It's ready-ish. Yeah, I don't know that me and Seaton actually helped there, but I do think it hit on something. Paulie, I hope you don't take this as a critique, but you do have trouble. Not really in this case. You do have trouble if you don't know the answer to something or you didn't do something that Dan wanted you to. You're not great at first admitting it. You immediately, your brain goes to...
He didn't want me to do that. He didn't ask for wings beforehand. If he had asked for wings and then he said, are we having wings today? I would have said no.
Well, I think the confusion is that yesterday you threw out, I'm thinking about planning a Friday wing delivery. And then he was probably going off that. Although, if you go back to our Shellback live read today, too, Dan said, Paulie, do you know what the spring sling is or whatever? And he's like, come on, of course I do. But really had no idea what it was and wouldn't just say, like, no, I don't know what that drink is. Just sort of went, yeah, of course I do.
I like my answer. I said we could, which means I could get that done. No. Nobody wants to hear no. Nobody wants to hear no.
Paulie threw it out there a few days ago about the idea of getting wings in, and if I recall, Dan's response was extremely vague. I think he just kind of half nodded and walked back to his chair. You know, if he would have definitively said, yeah, let's do wings.
Like booking a guest. Why should I have booked wings when Dan didn't say he wanted wings? Fritzy wouldn't do so.
Okay, here's another interesting correspondence that happened today, all right? Paul sent out a list of like 7 to 10 names that are going to be in New York City next week, saying like, hey, like these are all people that are going to be in New York next week. And that's all that was really said, and Fritzy responded with, great, let's look at the list and review if any of them are people we would consider calling and inviting on the show. Now, just the very nature that Paul sent the list to me said, let's try and book all these guys. But did it? I don't really know.
Yeah.
Fritzy certainly didn't take it.
I don't. I take it, you know, let's all, we'll kick it around and
which
Dan,
we never did.
And Dan, you know, gets, you know, the official
Why would we send a list
decision.
of people we don't want on the show?
Well, when we throw out names around, a lot of times those are just suggestions, and then if we just go haphazardly and start lining them all up, and then we find out that Dan wasn't interested in A, C, and D, or he actually really wanted B, and you know that's we've been in those situations before where we.
As a rule, I don't suggest. Just with my life, if I want, you know, if I pitch a guest, it's because I want them on.
But did you pitch the guest?
I was iffy about it.
So that was I'm siding with
And I got
here.
no response from
Sometimes
Dan
communication is unclear. Paulie's pretty clear. Dan can be
I have
unclear.
to tell you, there couldn't be anything more obvious than, hey, these people are in New York City. Like, oh, that's great. I wasn't aware of their travel schedule.
Yeah, but
or
has it ever been a
show?
situation where Dan was like, why are you booking this guy? Yes, there has been that situation.
But yeah, but then, I mean, obviously Paul has a reason why he's interested in these people, and then it's really sort of on him and then the group to explain why these. We've had lots of situations where Dan is like, I'm not really into this guy, and then we convince him that, no, this would actually be a really good guest,
I
and
take
then
it
he's
all
cool with it.
until Dan says he wants
just
it.
as a rule, I never suggest a guest. If I pitch a guest, that means I think he should be on the show. I would never pitch it unless I pitched and say like, "What do you guys think of this guy on a show?" I would even say in that I'm not sure. I could go either way.
That's right.
We asked the boss whether he was genuinely upset when he snapped at Paulie and Fritzy. Let's see what he said in this edition of Boss's Thoughts.
Paulie is the king of covering up something, but Fritzy's the queen. Right there. Did you do that? Well, no, not yet. Well, not yet because you didn't think about doing it in the first place. Fritzy does that all the time. Paulie will always cover up if it appears as if he made a mistake. My favorite was one time I said to Paulie, I said, oh, did you watch that game last night? And he said, no, I DVR'd it. And then I realized that the game wasn't even on, but Paulie still DVR'd a game that wasn't even on. So, cover up. Cover-up's worse than the crime. Keep telling them that.
Well, it's good to be the king. I'll say that. I would say this. There is a reason Dan Patrick has kept me around for about 12 years because I'm fantastic about covering things up for everyone in the room and everyone all that works with us. I can help people out of a lot of situations, and that trait of mine, which could be a negative, other people could see as a big lifesaver.
You know, I don't think we should be critiquing Paulie here. I think the biggest offender of miscommunication is Dan. Because you'll say, Dan, should we do this or that? And he'll just look at you and go, Then the next day he'll say, why didn't you follow through on what we talked about yesterday?
But it's a smart game plan, because then if you book something or you go and do it and it's good, then it's great, and he was on board with that. If it ends up being a disaster, it's like, I don't remember ever saying that I really wanted that.
Wow, I'm not going to go that far, Fritzy. I was just pointing out.
Well, that's the next step of that line of thought is you play both sides, and then it's either good, and if it's not good, then
it can be difficult to get a straight answer out of Dan lots of times, especially like we've been planning this one thing right now, and I go during the morning every morning and be like, hey, so what are we thinking about that? Because I just need to get an answer back to these people. And pretty much every morning it's been either like, yeah, we can look at that, or, oh, let me get back to you. It can be really tough to just, you got to drag an answer out of them and just hope that it works out, or else it's going to be.
And Dan, I guess, would be king of staving off decision-making if he was the king of something.
We love confusion, but we got clarity on who the queen is. Congratulations, Fritzy. We've got more headed your way. McLovin, bask in the glory of some QB love, and how much is a DP bobblehead worth? Keep it right here.
I just wanted to know, McLovin, do you think I'm a prototypical quarterback or a system quarterback?
No, because tell me the other good Georgia quarterbacks.
Wow. Wow.
Hey, come on now. We got a lot in our history.
Eric Zier.
Eric Zier. We got Stafford, Green, Shockley.
Man.
Buffalo.
Actually, now that I think about it, you are a system quarterback.
Welcome back to the box score. Georgia quarterback Aaron Murray giving McLovin a little love on the show yesterday. Seaton, when he gets a shout out like that, do you see his head growing even larger than it already is?
I'm not sure how much larger Andrew's head can get, literally and figuratively. But it's certainly a cool thing when somebody name checks you on the show.
Apparently, McLovin has been making the rounds at the quarterback camps because he got even more love when Fresno State quarterback Derek Carr joined the show.
I wanted to ask you if your boy McLovin thought I was a system quarterback as well.
Wow. Is Derek Carr a system quarterback?
He's more of a family system quarterback.
No, he doesn't play like his brother does.
It's coincidental that his brother, really good quarterback, he's a quarterback. Sounds like a system to me, Dan.
You know, it's my favorite thing that ever happens to me on the show, when I get to interact on an interview with Dan, like when I trash talk Brooke Lopez.
That was pretty epic.
But there can be a downside. One time Mark Sanchez came on and said, hey, I heard McLovin was ripping me on Twitter, which I'm sure I did, but I don't even remember doing that. And ever since then, I've been so afraid to tweet anything negative about any quarterback because he could be on the show. So it's, I think Mark Sanchez was wrong. And a lot of times, then one time Kenny Smith came on and said, oh, McLovin, remember when we partied together 3 weeks ago in L.A.? Christopher Mintz-Plasse from Superbad. Yeah. So you have to be very careful with your shout-outs.
McLovin, a follow-up to you. The guy's married. Does that make you angry, a young quarterback that's married already?
Oh, it's the worst trend in football. Forget concussions. It's these young quarterbacks getting married. Russell Wilson. I think Andrew Luck is single, actually. My guy Andy Dalton.
Now, it worked out for Russell Wilson so far.
Well, what's the point of being a great quarterback? You be a great quarterback to get girls. I was always sitting there in high school getting great math grades, not getting girls. I'm like, wow, I wish I could be a quarterback and get girls. It's just a waste of God-given talent to be a starting quarterback in the NFL and be married.
All right, speaking of God-given talent, you guys took out the measuring tape and tried to figure out who had the upper hand as a quarterback prospect. Paulie, who had the biggest hands, and are there any kind of bragging rights?
Not really. Well, a little bit. Seaton smallest. Fritz and I tied for medium. Dan was just above us, and McLovin, I think, was 9 1/4, 9.5.
9.5.
Just big enough to bench 200 pounds. Seaton, you had the smallest hands, and you went into the box to defend those tiny little hands.
All right, they may not look like the most intimidating hands you've ever seen. Some might call them feminine. I don't think that's necessarily fair. My sneak shoe size also not exactly gigantic. I wear about 9. I'm okay with that though. I'm pretty much the same size as Wayne Gretzky. So, I mean, he also had tons of God-given, or natural ability that I certainly don't have. Listen, we all know what the whole, big hands, big feet thing is supposed to imply. And not to mention that I'm Irish is also something that's rumors, whatever. But I can certainly say that I personally dispel all of those myths about certain things. That's all I'm here to say. I'm very comfortable in my own skin and the features that I have. What about it? I'm good.
Nobody's asking for a refund, is what you're saying.
No. Everybody's cool.
What's in your pants? You happy to see me?
Wouldn't you like to know?
All natural.
Fingers crossed. Can't blame a guy for trying. Coming up, the Danettes will do some window shopping for the man cave, and McLovin will explain his recent hardwood troubles. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Box Score, guys. Your man cave in Milford is filled with tons of priceless items. But we thought you might want to add to the collection, so we searched high and low on the internet to find some memorabilia that would interest you. But can you afford it? Let's play another edition of
Worth or Worthless?
We'll show you an item from an online auction, and you try to guess what it sold for within $20. Got it? Good. Our first item is for Paulie. It's a 1988 Chicago Times poster featuring Michael Jordan, Walter Payton, and Andre the Hawk Dawson. Paulie, I can see your blood pressure rising from here. Is it worth or worthless? Your guess.
I don't think it's gonna be that much money. And by the way, I have that in a trunk in my mom's house back in Chicago, that exact picture. I'm gonna go only like $9.99 because it's not signed. But any picture of Walter Payton to me is priceless.
Ding, 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 ding! $15 is the exact amount. Nice. Our next item is for McLovin, an autographed 8x10 of you. No, it's not the real you. It's Christopher Mintz-Plasse, who you mentioned earlier, who played McLovin in the movie Superbad. This photo has been certified and is 100% authentic. What's your guess?
Wow. I just watched that the other day again on cable, and that holds up well. I think it's still a popular movie. I'm going to say $15.
That is within the range. It is $30 is correct.
Wow, look at you guys.
Back to the front row and Seaton. So many statues on you. This would look great at your desk. A Todd McFarlane figurine of Metallica frontman James Hetfield. It comes with a guitar, cymbal, and stand. Seaton, worth or worthless? Guess the price.
Oh my goodness. And it's not autographed, correct?
What are you thinking?
Correct.
I'm gonna go like the $49.95 range. I'm gonna say
Within
$49.95.
$9, it is $40. Fritzy,
wow.
Your turn. You grew up with her. We all sort of grew up with her. She's traveled the world. It's a 1977 DVD of the Italian exploitation film Emmanuel in America. Before you guess, Fritzy, I think you have a brief synopsis of the film handy. Please share.
I sure do. The stunning Laura Gemser stars as Emmanuel, the fearless fashion photographer and investigative photojournalist whose thirst for adventure is matched only by her insatiable erotic hunger. But when Emmanuel uncovers shocking evidence of an international snuff film conspiracy, she is plunged into an odyssey of forbidden passion, depraved desires, and unspeakable human brutality. From the lust-filled streets of New York City to the corrupt corridors of Washington, D.C. and beyond, one of the most controversial gore epics in exploitation history has finally come.
Fritz had to look that up because he never made it past the first 3 minutes of that movie.
Yeah, this is worth a lot to me, but on the open market and not the black market, I'm going to say that would go for $28.99.
No way! It was $28. Wow.
Oh, you said
he's the one who bought it, so he should know the price.
He's actually selling it, yeah. It's his extra copy.
That's scary. That's embarrassingly scary.
I mean, holy Long Island medium. Our final item 98 cents. Our final item, everyone gets a crack at this one. It's a Dan Patrick bobblehead given out to commemorate 25,000 shows by SportsCenter. Let's go around the room quickly. Seaton, you first.
Oh, Lord. I'm going to say that retails for $9.99.
I'm going to go $19.99 broccoli.
I'm going to go $127.
I'm going to say $13.95.
Fritzy and Paulie, closest is $26. McLovin, probably most correct in the job security. Great job, guys. Coming up, Seaton and Paulie will bask in the glow of making McLovin look like a fool. More on that in just a moment. Welcome back to the Box Score. Thanks for joining us. It's the last call here at the Box Score Bar. McLovin, this has been a tough week for you on the basketball court. Let's take a look at you being taken to school recently. Thursday, you were embarrassed as Seaton rejected your weak shot attempt. And then today, Paulie drove to the basket and scored on you. What's next, McLovin? A Fritzy tomahawk jam in your face?
First of all, where's all the footage of me schooling these guys? For years, I've been beating them at one-on-one, but of course, pro front row box score producers have no interest in that. 2 lucky shots.
Backwards reverse layup. That was pretty strong.
Factually correct, McLovin. That's the first time you and I have ever played a one-on-one. You challenged me. You said, let's play to 1. Accept a loss.
Never.
Andrew, I finally blocked you. You have blocked probably 15 of my shots, easy. But you definitely talk a lot of trash, and I have to say it feels really good to have finally
It didn't feel really good when you jabbed me in the ribs right as I was trying to rise
First
up.
of all, who was driving in with their elbow out? I mean, it could have easily gone both ways.
That's called creating space. That's what great shooters do, but I wasn't allowed to because you're crowding me.
That was a clean block.
I feel more bad for the Dartmouth basketball program as a whole. I mean, they produce a lot of greats, names who just escape me, and I think this is going to be a big hit for the recruiting base.
I thought for sure Andrew would have said that he let us do those things, which he hasn't. I don't know if maybe he didn't think of that far.
Well, I have several things I could go with. I let it. My shirt was too tight, so my jumper against Paulie came up short. You fouled me. I have a whole litany of excuses.
Fritzy, why don't
There's actually a list I keep.
It'll be me against you next. There was no foul there. Normally I stick up for you. We're back row buddies, but I didn't hear any whistle, and I think that was clean.
And actually, because Fritzy right now is the only person on record who's beaten Paul at basketball. So that means really there needs to be another sort of showdown here.
Like by the associative property, somehow that means I'd probably dominate you then.
We'll get to the showdown maybe on the next show. But McLovin, you had some big news on Twitter. What was that?
Oh, I got followed by one of my heroes, Norm Macdonald, today.
I think Paulie's got an I-team investigation.
Well, no, it's just when McLovin said it, we all checked, and I guess he's following a few of us on the old Twitter. I love Norm Macdonald. He's freakishly funny.
I don't think he's that funny.
Seems a little salty because he followed.
I mean, he was okay in Saturday Night Live, but really, what has he done since then? Not a whole hell of a lot. Apparently, he's just following random people on Twitter, but just not everyone.
Unfortunately, he's just
It's all
following.
good, though. My guy, Tay Diggs. What's up, dude? Yeah, I saw you follow me today. That's cool. Norm Macdonald. Kind of a hack, but whatever.
Whoa.
Fritzy, I follow you. Who's on next week?
Thank you. Reggie Miller will join us in his regular Monday slot to recap the first couple of games of the NBA playoffs. Isaiah Thomas on the Bad Boys film will also speak with NCAA President Mark Emmert as well.
Thanks for watching the Box Score. Set your DVR or tune in weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern only on Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Cheers.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer. My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey! Thanks for watching the Box Score. Holy cow!